What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have some awesome news for Star Wars gaming with the reveal trailer for Star Wars Squadrons coming out, and boy does it look like it is going to be a lot of fun. Now in this video we're going to do a really quick breakdown of the trailer, covering some of the stuff that I saw in my first couple of viewings, and then I am essentially just going to give you guys my thoughts quickly at the end as well. If you're hyped for Star Wars Squadrons, then leave a like down below, and if you are new, then consider subscribing to the channel with those notifications on, as I will be covering everything Star Wars Squadrons on this channel moving forward. But with that out of the way, I'm going to quickly break down the trailer first up, and then I will get into my thoughts at the end. So right off the bat, we can see that this is being made by Motive Studios, and for those who don't know, they had a part in working on Battlefront 2, I believe mostly with the campaign, but also slightly with the vehicle combat as well. However, I think Criterion did the heavy lifting with the vehicles. But if you're unsure who Motive are, then that should at least explain that. Now, the trailer starts off showing a bit of a dogfight slash chase scene with a TIE fighter, or what looks more like a TIE interceptor actually, chasing down an X-Wing that has a damaged engine. I have no idea what planet they're fighting in the asteroid belt of, but if you happen to know, then definitely let me know down in the comments. But this does seem like it is from the campaign section rather than multiplayer, at least at first glance. And we're somewhat introduced to two characters, one Rebel pilot and one Imperial pilot. After the chase scene, which seems to be just those two, it quickly pans out to a much larger battle where we can see a few MC-85 cruisers and a few Imperial Star Destroyers, as well as what looks to be a Tantive class freighter in the top right there, and then scattered around there are some more X-Wings, A-Wings and U-Wings, as well as some regular TIEs and some TIE bombers. So straight off the bat, there are plenty of different variations of starfighters. We then see a few close-ups of who I assume are the main characters, this Imperial guy and the Rebel female, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this actually looks like Hera Syndulla from Rebels, which is actually pretty awesome to see. I did not expect that at all, but I could be wrong, it could just be another Twi'lek. We then see another shot with some more X-Wings, U-Wings and A-Wings, which I assume are inside the MC-85 cruiser, and then in the Imperial shot we see, I'm not actually sure of the name of this ship, but this is the same class of starfighter that the Ninth Sister used in Jedi Fallen Order. So honestly, it could even be her since she's likely not dead, but I'm guessing this is just the same class of ship and not actually hers. Now, most of the more in-game looking stuff seems to be first person, so I'm not 100% sure if there is a third person option. However, I'd imagine there will be, but either way, this does look great having it in the cockpit in first person. And then in this next shot, I'm 99% sure that that is Wedge. However, again, it could just be a coincidence or something, because obviously the graphics don't make it 100% clear, but I'm absolutely certain in my own mind that that is Wedge Antilles, which is another awesome cameo that I did not expect to see. Now, this next shot, I'm almost certain that this is wrong because we don't really see Coruscant in the OT, but that looks a hell of a lot like Coruscant, at least the lit up section anyway, but I'm going to assume that it is another planet because one, it has a kind of green tinge, and two, like I said, Coruscant isn't really known as an OT planet, even though it obviously still exists in the OT. But yeah, either way, it definitely gives me Coruscant vibes anyway. Eventually we get to this scene where it shows the squadrons walking up towards the camera, and it says 5 pilots and 1 squadron, which I'm assuming means that this could be a 5 versus 5 type of multiplayer game, or just like in Battlefront 2, maybe there are some bigger teams but each team has a certain amount of squadrons within it or something. But they definitely focused on 5 pilots for a reason, assuming it's not just talking about the campaign anyway. Also, for those that missed it, there was actually a Trandoshan in that Rebel lineup as well, which I thought was pretty awesome. We then get this absolutely beautiful shot of the Star Destroyer rising through the clouds, and can I just say, this literally sent shivers down my spine the first time watching it. That is such an awesome shot, and I'm so glad that they added that in there. Now, the other thing that is very clearly present throughout this trailer is this specific paint job on the TIE pilot's helmet. I don't know if we've ever seen this design in Star Wars before, correct me if I'm wrong, but I assume that this means it will be a certain regiment within the Imperial Navy, sort of like how Battlefront 2 introduced the Inferno Squad, although I assume these guys will just be pilots and not special forces, but either way, they did show this a lot throughout, and it definitely seems to be a focal point for the Imperials. The trailer then ends with each team charging at the other before showing the title and the end screen, which shows the release date of October 2nd, 2020, which is much earlier than I had imagined it would be. We can also see on this end screen that it says rendered in the Frostbite engine, so that is both awesome and terrifying news. We know the power of Frostbite engine, but we also know that it is often very buggy, so I do hope they get on top of the bugs, but yeah, the Frostbite engine is definitely amazing, so I'm still very happy to hear that. So that is pretty much it for the trailer. If I did miss anything, then definitely let me know down below. This was obviously a very quick breakdown, so I know I 100% have missed a lot of stuff in there. But now I am just going to get onto my thoughts on the trailer before finishing up. Now, the first thing that I'll say is that the game does look very good, but it doesn't look quite as good quality as Battlefront 2 in my opinion, which is to be expected. There's been a lot of reports that this is kind of like a faster project and a much smaller project than something like Battlefront 2. And so I know a lot of people are going to be complaining about the graphics not being as good, even though they obviously look very good anyway. But for me, this was actually expected. I kind of knew that this wouldn't be some, you know, grand scale Star Wars game, because yeah, all reports have said that this was much more of a sort of a smaller project to, I guess, tide us over until the next big project. So I definitely think the game looks very good, but it obviously has a little bit of a lower quality than Battlefront 2. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but I actually get the vibe that in the campaign you might be able to choose which side you're on. It doesn't really make it clear, but it does show a lot of Rebel stuff and it shows a lot of Imperial stuff. And I'm assuming most of this trailer is sort of the story mode, or, you know, the campaign. So I have a feeling, and this is just a prediction, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that you are going to be able to choose whether you want to play as the dark side or the light side, which I think would be really awesome. I know a lot of people with the Battlefront 2 campaign, they really weren't happy that it was kind of sold as an Imperial story, and then obviously, spoiler alert, you end up going to the Rebels. So if they were to have sort of an option to play as both the dark side and the light side, then that would be very, very cool. And from what we've heard, the story is going to be fairly short, but that would actually make it sort of twice as long, because you could just essentially do it on either side. So again, this is all just speculation, but having it show both sides so much, it does seem like that could be the case anyway. Now, the other thing that I do think is going to be a very big possibility is that you might even be able to do a lot of sort of customization in multiplayer, and even, you know, customizing your pilot and everything like that. Having the walk-up scene of the Trandoshan and the, I'm not even sure what other species that was on the right there, but having that almost sort of just seems like it's going to be a lot of customization. And because the game has been sort of told to be a lot smaller, I'm assuming it's actually going to be a bit of a cheaper game, like not a full price $60 US game, but because it is cheaper, they might have a lot of sort of in-game, you know, in-game microtransactions with, you know, a lot of customization stuff, which I know a lot of people don't really like the microtransactions and all that kind of thing, but for me personally, I'm not too fussed as long as it's not any pay to win. Obviously, I think EA has hopefully learned their lesson after Battlefront 2, so as long as there's no pay to win, I'm fine with that. If you can, you know, pay $5-10 bucks for a skin or whatever, that actually sounds like a really fun idea to me. And I think that would be really cool, because obviously in Battlefront it's more about customizing your own characters and troopers and stuff like that, but customizing your own, you know, X-Wing or A-Wing or whatever, that definitely sounds pretty cool, as well as the fact that you could hopefully customize your character as well. Obviously, we don't really know too much as of right now, but I'm definitely very, very keen for this game. The trailer looked pretty much as I would expected. It was a very well-made trailer. The graphics looked great and everything like that. But obviously there wasn't much gameplay, so we are hopefully going to be getting some gameplay and some more news on the game at EA Play, which I think is on the 18th, so about 2 or 3 days from now. And I will be doing a video as soon as we get any more news on that as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that, as yeah, there's going to be hopefully a lot more news coming out in the next few days. But I'm going to end it there, guys. Like I said, if I did miss anything in the breakdown, then definitely let me know, and if you are very keen, or even if you're not too happy with how it was, then definitely let me know in the comments your thoughts on the trailer as well, because I'm definitely very, very excited to sort of gauge the community and see whether you guys are very keen or very sort of disappointed with it being a Starfighter game. But like I said, that is going to do it for this one, guys. If you are new to the channel, then definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. And if you did enjoy the video, then make sure to leave a like down below. Thank you all very much for tuning in. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.